Hello everybody, we're going to do a Country Roads Take Me Home. This is sort of spur of the moment. We're here at the Bethel Moravian Cemetery. We had actually done a video here, one of the earliest ones on the Bethel Moravian Cemetery from back in Revolutionary War and French and Indian War period is in the back. And like all Moravian cemeteries, they believed everybody was equal in death, so all the stones were flat and they were the same. And they also had all the women and girls were on one side of the cemetery where all the men and the boys were on the other. There actually are several Indians or Native Americans that are buried here. There was a raid and 4 different farmers were actually killed on the same day. I believe it was in the month of June. And they are all buried here. Now, unfortunately, most of the stones, like with Moravian cemeteries, a lot of them are, they're all flat. So you see vast open areas of the cemetery where there's nothing there. Well, there's actually stones underneath the dirt. It's just a matter of finding them. And a lot of them are so worn you can't read them anymore, but they are in there. But this is Cemetery Road. It actually goes up over, I believe this is Short Mountain. It's something like that. And then the mountain on the other side of the Monroe Valley is the Blue Mountain. We're gonna stop here at the top. I'm gonna unhook the phone here from the charger, and I'm going to give you guys a view over the valley, Lickdale Valley here, because it's really actually quite beautiful. I sort of wish I had filmed from the other side for you guys to see, because coming down the hill was actually quite extraordinary. So I'm going to pop on my flashers here just quick and then give you guys the view, because it's pretty amazing. So we're going to get out of the van, and then you can see this. Really is quite the view. You can see for tons of miles. Out that direction is the town of Lickdale, and then as you go across here, this is the valley over to the other mountain range. Just a beautiful area. This is a really pretty road. I've never been actually taken this road over the mountain, because it's pretty, a lot of it's gravel, and there's no winter maintenance. But I'd never been on this road from over Monroe Valley to here, so this was a new experience for me, and I want to take you guys along. It is the colors are really pretty right now with the trees. Here in Pennsylvania, I guess tomorrow morning it's supposed to get below freezing, so usually when that happens, then the trees wind out dropping their leaves pretty quickly. So I'm not sure how much longer we're going to wind out having excuse me, the colors like we normally have, but just a really beautiful area. I was really happy that I did this. I was over at Bethel Moravian Cemetery because I wanted to take a couple pictures of some of the neat stones that are there, but I also wanted to get a thumbnail for that, because that was one of them. I didn't have a thumbnail for the video, so it has a pretty boring picture for that video, so I'll switch that up on the YouTube channel. But pretty neat, like these old dirt roads, country roads. I used to travel around on these all the time. I used to love it. It's just neat. You can see down over in the Monroe Valley there. But my dad always taught me an appreciation of nature. He was an avid hunter. I never really enjoyed it that much. I did it for a while till I was probably around 20, and then I just sort of had enough. 'Cause I don't find a pleasure. Whoa, buddy. I don't know quite how the guy didn't see me there, but focus. Another one is sort of cool. You come down over the mountain. It's not quite as cool of a vista because it's not as open, but that's the Blue Mountain over there. We're right near the Swatara Gap, which we'll wind up doing a video on that Pennsylvania historical marker talking about the significance of the Swatara Gap. We had done a video early on that dealt with Fort Swatara and the Swatara Gap and the village of Annville. We will go back and do another video, because I want to do one specifically on the historical marker. There are going to be some videos I do with the historical marker series that they're very similar because of I've done stuff on them already. But I do want to get back to complete the series, and especially the ones that are local that I can make it to. And it's just another cool video that just concentrates solely on that individual historical marker, and there might be some more information that I can give as well, because I have learned more and more as I've gotten books and done more research and how everything's all connected, and always enjoyed that. So this here, I'm trying to think what the name of this road is. We'll see it up here when we go. We're going into Monroe Valley, but this is a road we used to travel. I think it's Little Mountain Road. So this might actually be called Little Mountain. Short Mountain's stuck in my head for some reason, but it probably is a Little Mountain because it's just a really small mountain range, but it's the other side. It would be the southern side mountain. Yeah, Little Mountain Road. And this, I believe, is Monroe Valley Road. But and we're going to go over to Monroe Valley Chapel because I do want to get a couple pictures for Instagram over there. And I'd like to get my fall picture. I've talked about in the vlogs that I want to do a series called Seasons that I want to do a book that I do my pictures on. And Monroe Valley Chapel is one of those places I would like to do the 4 seasonal pictures, because it's just such a beautiful building. Thanks to people from Northern Lebanon High School that wound out preserving that, because otherwise it would have been another historical building of such significance that would have just gone away and been forgotten about, which is a shame because that does happen more often than it should. But thankfully there are those people with the historical societies and just people that care and preserve these places so we can continue to enjoy. And I believe I've talked about as well, I did on the Monroe Valley Chapel video, they do a Christmas service every single year. Unfortunately, because of COVID, they are not doing that once again this year. They didn't do it last year either. It's one of those cool local events that they do during these different seasons. And unfortunately, it's just one of those things due to COVID. They just don't want to take the risk. So, unfortunately, hopefully maybe by next year, they'll do that again, because it's something my dad used to go to. And just look at how beautiful the mountain range is here, the Blue Mountain. It's just the whole way through this valley. The Monroe Valley is just named for James Monroe. Just a beautiful valley. Just quaint farmland. And it's cool they have it. We have a nice breeze today. It's a pretty chilly day. And there's a my brain just went completely dead. But in action. You don't see a whole lot of these bad boys. It's pretty neat. I don't know, that's cool there. I'll have to stop and video that. I love the water wheels. I have the old mills and stuff like that. Well, we might not be stopping here at Monroe Valley because well, we'll stop anyways. I just want to take a couple pictures and then get out of here. But so we're gonna stop the video for right now. Alright, so I'm really glad I stopped out here. I got a bunch of pictures. I actually talked to one of the caretakers. His name's Tom Donmoyer. Something I'll wind up posting on my page, and I'll get the websites and all that. But he had talked about they're trying, like, they've really done a beautiful job with preserving that church. They're looking to try to get a shed put on the property, raise money for doing that. And there's that water wheel. But they mainly it's like for keeping stuff on the property to, you know, continue to maintain the property, but also like they do events and it's like they have benches inside, and that way they have a place to keep a lot of that, because, you know, like he said, he's like, a lot of the people that are behind preserving buildings like that are getting older, and they really are worried about, you know, what's going to happen in the future once they're gone. Like my dad was one of those people that really was involved with preserving history, and when they're gone, you know, a lot of times things get forgotten. Which one thing he said that I thought was really quite neat, he said, you know, I've gotten to the point now where I'm not worried anymore about this being preserved, because they just put a metal roof on there, they just redid the inside. He was kind enough to take me inside and even gave me his number, that if I want to do a video there, that he'll come and open it up for me. So I want to do my part, and I am gonna post that. I'm not asking you that, hey, you need to give or something like that, but it is something that if we can, I'm going to talk to Cliff the Wandering Woodsman as well about posting something on our pages, that if people feel free and they have the money, that they'd feel free to preserve this building, that it's something to help them out. And I think it's something that we can do. I think I'll wind out giving as well, and try to do something to preserve this place for, you know, generations to come. And it's something I may talk to them, get actively involved in helping them out. And that's part of what we need to do with our history. It's pretty exciting. That was cool, being able to just randomly, it was like I wanted to come out here and take pictures, because the Monroe Valley Chapel is definitely one of those buildings that I want to do for that seasons, because it's just such a beautiful building. It's such a beautiful valley. But anyways, so we're gonna stop up here, and that'll be the end of our video for this Country Roads Take Me Home. It's a little bit of a shorter one for Country Roads Take Me Home, but really just a pretty area. And I'm gonna talk about a certain creature. It's haunted history, cool stories. I don't know how much it's haunted history, but it's just something a little different, a monster. So it has to do with that whole thing and stuff like that, and I think it'd be cool. So we're gonna stop, I think, down here, because it's the easier place to stop. So with that, we are going to end the video here as we stop by the sort of semi-terrifying ponds. Thank you. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for coming along, and we will see you all about town. Sorry about that. So this is, I'm going to continue this Country Roads Take Me Home. We're on the other side, Monroe Valley. This is Fort Swatara Road. So we're going to go take this road the whole way to Fort Swatara. I'm sort of doing the Country Roads Take Me Home, and doing them in between these different stops that I'm doing today. Some of them I'm just going back to take pictures at different places, and you know, some of them I'm going to some new places. But I sort of figured it'd be cool to take you along with me on this little bit of journey, to do these different videos and do a video in between as well. Always find these areas so beautiful. This is right outside the Swatara Gap. This is the area where they designated that Fort Swatara should be, and that was what guarded the Swatara Gap Pass. And this was originally the home that was here. It was, I think it was Peter Hetrick's home or something. It'll say it on the monument up here, but Conrad Weiser was the one that actually wound up organizing things. And somebody that didn't get a ton of credit for helping to organize things as well was the fighting pastor, who was pastor of the Presbyterian churches at Derry and also Paxton Church. He was responsible for starting the Paxton Rangers, and unfortunately there were some atrocities that were committed there. So I'm gonna wait here for a second, and then I'll wind out continuing my video here in a little bit. Thanks, everybody. So we're gonna continue down this road, and for our Country Roads Take Us Home, to go through the valley here, and then we'll actually go around. It's sort of like almost like a big circle here in a small town. I guess to some degree you call it a small town, called Bordnersville. It's right in this area. Mainly now, a lot of the area to the I guess you'd say the south would be, is a lot of these huge warehouses, like Ingram Micro, and I think there's MSC is one of the warehouses, and I think there's even like an Amazon warehouse, maybe something like that. But it's a lot of warehouses in this area, old farmland that got converted over. But right in this area yet, it's still, you know, normal homes, and you got the Blue Mountain going along here. Just a pretty area. Actually goes over to Indiantown Gap, so we'll be actually skirting right along the military base here. I think they used to do that. It used to be like a rifle, like a long range rifle range along here. They also store a lot of their equipment along here. It's different types of training and whatnot that goes on over there, but if you do go to the Fort Swatara monument, which the guy was cool about it, so actually that's where we want to turn. Fort Swatara Road to go back around this circle, because that takes you out to I think it's what is it, Fisher Avenue. But I was parked in the grass right across the river from Fort Swatara, and he said something. Like I said, he was really cool about it, but apparently he has people doing all kinds of weird stuff out there, so I get that completely, because he was wondering if I was stuck or not. But I just said, no, I'm just doing some filming on Fort Swatara Monument. So, but anyways, so just be respectful of that. And there's I think it's called Bats Drive or something like that. It's probably best to just quick park in there if you're gonna quick check out the monument, because then you're at least on the gravel, because I don't want to upset people, because it is one of the things when you do this, you have to be really careful. And it's understandable, because unfortunately there's a lot of knuckleheads out there that do stuff to people's properties and aren't respectful. You know, not everybody's respectful like I'm trying to be, and do that, and it just sort of, it makes it difficult when you're trying to do things like this, that you just have people, unfortunately, that don't care. And it's a shame, because I guess the society as a whole, we have changed where people just don't have respect anymore, and it's that loss of community, because that's something I always really thought was so neat about, you know, times in the past. There was that sense of community where everybody watched out for each other, supported each other, and sort of took care of one another, and that's unfortunately doesn't exist anymore for the most part. I mean, it does to a degree, but in a lot of ways it doesn't, unfortunately. So, but yeah, you want to go, if you do want to go back to this monument, you go off after you go north of Lickdale, you're on Route 72. You actually make a left, and we're going to turn right onto this road, and that way you know which road it is. And then you make a right onto Fort Swatara Road, and it's less than, probably about, I'd say about a half mile, but it's Bonds Lane. It's BOHNS Lane. It's just a short drive, and if you go right over Route 81 here, which that's actually a really pretty drive. I should probably do at some point. I just don't like Route 81 for the most part, just because of how crazy the traffic is. But we're going to be stopping here in a second. I'll probably just keep the video, or actually stop it right here, and that we'll probably pick up again once I get done with the Fort Swatara historical marker. All right, thanks everybody. So we're going to continue this last leg of our journey on this Country Roads Take Me Home, which is sort of an adventure going on Cemetery Road to over to Monroe Valley Chapel, and then back through over to Fort Swatara Monument, and now up Route 72 up to the Swatara Gap, Pennsylvania historical marker. And there, once again, you see the Blue Mountain, and we are heading directly towards Swatara Gap, where the Swatara Creek splits the Blue Mountain. And it was an extraordinarily important path that the Native Americans used to come back into the settlement areas here, the frontier settlements, to attack during the French and Indian War. It wasn't used just by only the Native Americans, it was used by the settlers as well to get across over to Pine Grove into Schuylkill, which at that time it wasn't Schuylkill County. I'm not sure if it was Lancaster or Berks County at that time, because the counties were much larger. And right there is the Swatara Gap sign, and we are going to quick stop here, and then we'll go from there. But that will be the end of our Country Roads Take Us Home. I want to say thank you everybody for coming along on this journey, and we will see you on our next adventure. Thanks everybody.